let us talk about session technical settings and defining to be defined before the session. When we talk about session settings, we have to define access, audio and video settings, preferences, and cursor. We can see when we click on meeting, we have a definition of several alternatives, and we can define the activities which can be made before the session, which means managing information, managing access, changing the roles of the presenter, and the preferences, which means that we have different preferences and audio settings. During the meeting, we can as well make a couple of things, like managing some kind of access and the role of the presenter, let's say the host, and record meeting, switch to prepare mode, enable presenter only area, and full screen. These details we are going to see step by step how to make it, but after the session we can as well make a couple of important things, which is managing meeting information and the meeting exiting, which means that we can close the session or the room and define details about all these kinds of things. Let's have a look about all these kinds of things. When we invite a couple of participants, we can define a couple of things and manage the situation, which is defined when we start the session. Automatically all participants are upgrading to presenters, which means that they can have audio and video, or we can just close the room when we start the meeting and everything will not be allowed to enter. What else? We can add some other activities like during the session and before the session. Let us find step by step how to make the session settings. First of all, we would like define the access to the room, and access to the room can be defining this way. Go to meetings, manage meetings, and now we are in the room definition, and we go to edit information, and from this editing information we can find that we have several definitions of the meeting, and we can define only registered users may enter the room, only registered users and accepted guests enter the room, or anyone who has the URL of the room can enter the room. And this is defined now. The only thing I have to do is save it, and now I have defined that all participants or everyone who has the URL of the room can enter the room. Let's return again to the meeting room. The first definition is done. So we, if we want to erase this definition, we go again there and we will redefine what we want. But we can go to meeting, and in meeting we can change the profile of the participants when they enter the room. And when they enter the room, they can be auto-promoted to participants, from participants to presenters. And this definition is quite important because we can open a session and everybody can use audio and video without we are changing and so on. So as you can see, all presenters, all participants are upgraded to presenters, and now they can use audio and video in the beginning. Next step is on definition is, but when we start the session we can just change the profile. We just mark all of them and make them participants again. So all of them are changed again to participants. And what else can we do in this previous definition of the settings of the room? Now let's change preferences. And preferences, you can define the type of background room you have. So let's change another to another room. I'm going to use, let's say, Ethernet logo, or I can use any other of other rooms I have available, or even I can browse from my computer and find which room I want to use in this meeting. Okay, now I'm going to use Ethernet logo, and I say OK, and this is the option logo, but I don't want this one, I want just another one. So let's look again, and now I'm going to use another type of room, which is this auditorium from Silesia University. And now I have changed and I have the profile of the room. So I can even adjust my settings to this room and definition and make it okay, and just like this, so easy like this. So I have now a new aspect of the room. And what I'm going to do now, I am going to return back again to meeting. So I've changed part of my preferences. I can see what type of bandwidth I have, if I have a DSL or I have a LAN or I have a modem. If I have, I can display name, I can define audio settings, I can define as well video settings, and these video settings you can define if I will use 4:3 or 16:9. I can define quality, I can disable a couple of things, I can define microphone profile, screen sharing, I can define which will be high quality, medium or low. I can define if I am showing cursor application, which is quite important when I'm presenting something. Attendees and pods, chat pods, automatically enable chat for all participants or questions and actions. And so I have my definition of what I will define as my preferences. But I can do more before. I can test the audio wizard, and I will make a couple of tests concerning go next and next and next. Everything is done in the manual, and before the meeting, these are the main settings you should be concerned with. Now that we have defined session settings, we are going to define the session presenting settings, which means pods and layouts for the session according to the needs of all our presenters.